example, I am Thai. She's a DGPC employee, a daughter, a mother, a wife. Just a few tags to describe her. She's also the creator of Bhutan Knit and Crochet. Please help me in welcoming Aurin Chepemo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You have started several donation campaigns and you're responsible for Bhutan Knit and Crochet, and I think people know you as that right now, but dialing it way back, going back to your roots as they say, where are you from La, and where did you do your schooling La?
I'm from Shimgong, Shinker Wamling. So my schooling I had done at first Rinchinkempen school, and then from there I went to Logodama Primary School at Punaha, then to Teshikawan School. From there I came back to Mutan School.
Yes. And how many siblings do you have La? What kind of childhood did you have La?
I have an elder brother. He's at Finseling.
Yes.
Then my childhood, I remember, I think it's been a rough one.
Yes.
Because I had my parents were divorced when I was a kid.
Yes.
And I had to be with uncle and auntie babysitting their kids
Yes.
till the age of 12.
Yes.
And then my mother got remarried.
Yes.
So I had the opportunity to get into school at the age of 12.
Yes. And when did you marry, and how many kids do you have left?
I got married at the age of 24.
Yes.
And then I have twins, and
Yes.
they are right now they are at Sheriff's College, and the youngest one is at class 10, studying
Yes.
at UL.
Yes. Right now, Bhutan Knit and Crochet has a lot of followers and is quite well established. But when did you start it, La? And how was it in the beginning, La?
I have started the Bhutan Knit and Crochet in the year 2014.
Yes.
So before that, I used to have a name like Good Morning Beautiful. Then later, there's a friend, Aupasu.
Yes.
He suggested that that's an international name. Give that a Bhutanese name, like connect the Bhutan name. So he suggested like that. So he suggested to give a name with a Bhutan name tagged along. So I named it as Bhutan Knit and Crochet, and that's how it came out.
Yes. And did you start directly on Instagram, or how did it come about, La?
First, I started with the blog. Later on, then Instagram came up, and then I started updating on Instagram, and eventually the blog was neglected.
Yes.
So,
And what was the reason, La, behind starting this?
I had many projects coming up, and then I needed something to keep updating so that I'll remember what project I have been working on.
Yes. And while I was researching your blog and your Instagram, I've come to learn that it's not just about selling your product. You also coordinate and initiate a lot of donation campaigns. Do you remember your first one, La, and how did that come about, La?
The first donation I have started with Bhutan Kidney Foundation.
Yes.
So it was in 2017, and I have a club, an online club, WeChat group, and so I suggested on donating at Bhutan Kidney Foundation, and all the members agreed. They had 100% support, and we started collecting the beanies, and 2017 we donated our first beanie donation.
Yes. And from the several donation campaigns that you've done, do you remember your favorite, most memorable donation that you did that is quite close to your heart? Do you remember, La?
All the donations I have done is all close to my heart.
Yes.
So from Bhutan Knit and Crochet, then we took off donating to several monasteries and needy ones, where remote places, where it's rare to reach to the remote place, and nearby they get donation easily. But for the remote one and needy ones, it's difficult to reach out there. So we have even the after that donation with the several places, members have done their own individual donation also, like for Chhoden Monastery and monastery at the east, far east. They have also done their own individual donation also.
What is the reason behind Bhutan Knit and Crochet? Why knit and crochet la?
Knit and crochet, it has always been with me from the childhood itself. My mom used to knit, and she has influenced me to knit. And school vacations and during the vacation also, I used to knit my own garments.
Yes.
So I think that's how I got to start.
And when we were talking, we had a talk last time, and when we were talking about knitting, you were saying, oh, it's very meditative, it's very helpful. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What does knitting do for you?
Yes, indeed. Even researchers, they have done research on that knitting, and I have read so many papers and magazines that knitting has helps in like meditation. It's meditation things. Like I think I told you once, I was doing that Sophie universe blanket.
Yes.
So I was working on that, and so I was reading that pattern and doing each round.
Yes.
So I couldn't stop. I was eager to see next round how that pattern comes out. There was roses, tulips, mandala, and all. So I was always eager to see the next step. When I stopped finally, I stopped to see the clock. Then it was 2 a.m. So I was shocked. That's how I was so engrossed in that particular project. So I think my mind was not diverted anywhere. It was my mind was on that only. I think that's how meditation, meditating, where we are not distracted and particular. I think that's how I feel that it's a meditative, where we are not distracted and we are focusing on that particular knitting this.
I am a noob when it comes to knitting. I have no idea about knitting or crocheting, but as someone who does, you've done so much in knitting and crocheting. Can you tell us your the most difficult project that you've done knitting and crocheting wise, and how long that takes you?
I would say that it's a Sophie Universal Garden.
Okay.
So blanket, it has a mandala in the middle, and there's a tulip, there's a rose, there's a butterfly. Everything is included in that particular pattern, and it took me a year to complete it. So each line for each round, I have to read that pattern on the laptop, and then I have to go as the pattern says, and that's how it takes time.
Okay. And I've seen some of your Instagram. When I was researching your work, I saw different types of patterns and designs, and also the different types of clothing that you do in terms of like blanket or sweaters. Where did you learn all of this from?
Self-learning, like from YouTube, and there's so many tutors online. So I learned from there.
So it's self-taught Momola. Okay. And do you remember the first sale you made? It must have been quite exciting, no? The first sale that you made. Oh, I actually made money from my passion, my art. Do you remember the first sale?
Yes. It was in 2016 and Tarana Foundation Day. So that time I was chatting with Madam Karma Chhoden she was working in education. Now she is in Australia. So that time I had some difficult times. I was facing difficult times, and we were chatting, and then suddenly I asked Madam Chhoden if she could help me to get into that Tshering Foundation. So she was supportive, and she got help. Got the help. So I got my first showcasing of my works at Tshering Foundation Day.
Yes.
So there was lots of sale that time.
Yes.
So then onwards I thought,
not bad.
yeah, I could go on with the side income also.
Plus, what is amazing to me is that you have a full-time job, you're a wife, you're a mother, and you have this side project. And usually the side projects for people is quite like small, but your side project is this huge, amazing project. So how are you finding the time? How are you managing it all?
I go slowly, slow and steady. I never take it in a hurry. So whenever I have time, like even in the morning, the last moment before going to office also, I take. I can do. I'll go with one stitch. At least even with the one stitch, I have to touch once in the morning. Then after office, then during weekends time like that, and I used to get all the. I use that time to do the knit.
I think this is a question that I've asked a lot of my guests on her story, because you do so much, you know, and we are usually the primary caregivers at home. We are either looking after our parents, or we're looking after our children, and we have to cook and clean and all of that, and you have to also work, and you're doing the side project. So do you have a good support system? How does it work?
Yes, my backbone, I would say, I have a I can say she's my daughter. I have a Wangmu. She is a big help. She's my backbone. She helps me with. She used to help me with all the household. Now she's not with us. For now, she's with her grandparents. Since the children are all grown up and they have gone to college, and so I would say Wangmu is my backbone. I would never forget that.
It's so nice. I had a guest on my show, Amtan Dongmo, and even she was telling me that her daughter is her best friend and her biggest supporter. And do you also say the same?
Yes.
What about your mother? Because I think you're a strong role model from your mother in terms of knitting. How did she influence your life?
She has been. She used to knit. I have always seen her knitting. She's so perfect in knitting. She has to get the exact size, exact pattern. Even a small mistake she used to do all undo. She used to undo it a whole thing, and so I have to start a whole thing.
My God.
So I got that influence. I also do the same thing like her. I would have to undo everything so she's my influence.
Now she sees you quite prominent and quite established in terms of knitting and crocheting. What does she think? Oh wow, you really took it 3-4 levels above me. What does she say?
She's she praises me, and she's saying, oh, you have done this blanket so beautiful. I want that blanket. Please don't sell that one. Please give it to me. She always wants to own anything that I need. She's always happy with any project I have done.
Last time when we chatted, you said you have this WeChat group that's quite proactive. Remember, how many members do you have in that group, and what does that group do?
I have WeChat, 140 members, and Telegram. Recently, I have started Telegram, and it has 100 members. And it's a very huge one. I was expecting that much members, numbers of members. They are always willing to help with the donations, and so anything like any donations like last year we had COVID-19. COVID-19 time, we needed. I suggested how we could help during that time. Like everyone was volunteering, so we thought. I was searching what if we do need some air saver for the masks. So I have saw Tshering Hospital. They have sent a picture of health workers. Their masks ring.
Oh, yes.
They had a pain out there. They had to put some rope on, and they had to do it here because their ear could not bear the pain. So we made this. We needed some ear saver where the bottom is put, and the ear holder will be held by that back. So we made so each Songkhak we have members from each Songkhak, and then one would coordinate and deliver that ear saver. So everyone was cooperative.
How many ear savers do you think your group has donated?
Each Songkhak probably 100, 200.
And how many campaigns do you think you've made these kind of donation campaigns?
Approximately, it's like I said, it's Songkhak, health workers, for health workers, then for day soup also.
Yes.
I think maybe each Songkhak they have done 200-300 for each Songkhak campaign.
And you've also done for Drasangs Mula.
For Drasangs, we have done beanie donation, beanie donation. Then individual donation to the other monastery also.
From all the projects you've done, what is the biggest project that you've done? The biggest project you've done?
The biggest project I have done is Sophie Garden, which was auctioned at Renew exhibition during that Renew International Women's Day at Renew. So it that got auctioned and it was sold at 24,000. So which was purely for charity. So it was donated to Ugin Sukla Monastery. So that idea, that project, why I wanted to auction was when I heard that Madam Tandin from Renew, she told me a story about that monastery where the monks they didn't have a blanket, and it all comes from the low income and background. So I got the emotional touch, and then immediately I suggested for the auctioning of my Sophie Garden. So that eventually it got sold at 10,000. So that was the biggest sale, I would say.
When you do this kind of donations, where does the motivation come from? Where does the idea come from? How are you motivated to do this?
I would say His Majesty. His Majesty has always motivated me. So I see how His Majesty has been. Every news I see, I get emotional. So I could do, maybe I could do something. I always get motivated by His Majesty. So whenever I see His Majesty on TV, I get emotional, and immediately I would say, I must do something like this. I must do donation something. So I always, not only me, so as a people of our nation, I ask my members also motivated. So we get motivation from His Majesty, I would say. His Majesty, I would say, he's carrying the whole burden of the whole Bhutan. So why not I could do something small, some from my side.
Yes.
So that's how I get motivated. I would like more knitters and crocheters to join, so that more hands means more donation, more help we could do for our country.
Yes.
So I would like to thank my club members who has been very helpful.
Yes.
So I thank you with each and everyone for the success of our donation till now.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward for more.
Your group members are so proactive. Not only are you donating and participating in so many exhibitions and campaigns, but you're also giving classes more in schools and at the Bhutan Kidney Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Bhutan Kidney Foundation has asked us if we could give classes for their patients and like their helpers, because most of the time they are an adult with then their mind, to distract their mind more, then they had he suggested if you could help with the knitting. That we did had a talk over our WeChat members,
Yes.
and they were all willing to help. But then COVID-19 came and everything got.
Yes, yes.
We couldn't go further.
Yes.
So the founder has he said that he will buy these yarns and needles, everything, anything the raw materials needed, but then we suggested we could do that donation with the raw materials also. So we could help
Yes.
with them.
So you're essentially providing free lessons in Emola,
Yes.
and you're also doing it in school.
Schools, yes. Schools means our members are mostly they are teachers. They have initiated to make a club at their school. So right now my members are Madam Ugen. She is at Tshering school. She has initiated the knitting club at her schools, and recently she sent me a picture of a beanie that was done undone 100 times to get that perfect head from her student.
Yes.
So she was so happy, and he sent me that picture, and I was also happy, and I had to post that stories on my Instagram.
Yes.
So you can see that story on my Instagram also.
Yes.
So while we were getting on to that, Shenghana School, Madam Sangye Wangmo also, she also wanted to do the same thing, and we club members were, Madam Ukin suggested that how about if we could donate raw materials for the students to learn that knitting.
Yes.
Then everyone was
Very happy.
jumping to
Very enthusiastic.
donate their raw materials.
Yes.
Firstly, one of the members was from Bhutan. She posted, she sent through Bhutan Post raw materials like yarns and needles. So then onwards, others members started donating that raw materials. So Madam Sangye from Shenghana School, she was asking Madam Ugen if she could spare some from her from her collection. So we also then I made 2 packets from my own donation. For one for the Madam Ugen, and one for Madam Sangye. And so Madam Sangye, she has I think 3 boys in her club.
Wow, really?
Yeah, she was very happy. So you could see that story also on that Instagram, and how the boys were, though very slow. So she still tried her best
Nice, it's nice to know that your knitting is not only reaching to schools but even cutting across genders. That's nice, La. For first-time learners now, as you are such a pro at knitting and crocheting, but for first-time beginners who want to pick up knitting but are not so sure, what would you suggest? Like,
I would say simple is best.
Last.
Simple, basic one is good.
Last.
Mostly I do garter stitch.
Last.
Garter stitch, and that is the easiest one.
Okay.
We can go with that garter stitch.
Last.
And for the knit, I don't usually use a pattern. Mostly I use that garter stitch.
Yes.
So only for crochet I go as per the pattern.
Yes.
But I'm very bad in reading knit pattern.
Yes.
So I would say knit only basic one. Such is the basic.
Garter is the basic one.
That is garter stitch.
Okay,
that's the best one.
Okay, Les. And for crocheting, what is the most basic thing that they can pick up?
Basic they can do is double. There is a DC. Short. We call it DC. Which is double crochet.
Yes. Okay. And for people who want to join your groups, how can they find you, La?
They can find me with my mobile number.
Yes.
Should I say my mobile number?
Yes, you can say.
You can find me with my mobile number 77436731. You can use with that number to search my WeChat, both the WeChat and Telegram.
And then they can just
add me, and then I will add them into the group.
Okay, Les. And that in that group you also give classes and you share ideas, no?
Yes, and any simple pattern I get which interests me and which I think will interest my members, so I share the link to them on the group.
So it's a very nice, positive group in Memola where people can share and learn. Yes. So people, if you're interested, you probably should add our Pemo and get into that group. Also, what is the future for your group? What is the future for your Bhutan Knit and Crochet?
Future, I haven't thought about it. Still, we are still going slow and steady, and my future plan is right now I have 1000 beanie project.
Yes.
Which I have started 2019.
Yes.
A very, very slow one. I would say. Till now I have collected around 500 beanies.
Yes.
So I still need to go with another 500. So I need more members to join, and with more hands means we can do more help.
More work.
So that's why it's a secret project, I would say. 1000 beanie project. If I say that what's that secret project is, I think I'll easily get 1000 beanies. I don't want to reveal that one just now, because I want them to donate from their heart, not where it is going. So if I say where these beanies will go, I think I'll go.
You'll get
easily like that 1000 one.
Okay, so
that's
why you're keeping it a secret.
Yes, so I name it as 1000 beanie project.
What advice do you have for people like you, who were in your position, who had work but also wanted to do this and couldn't do this, or young girls who want to pick up knitting? What message or advice would you give to them,
I would say nothing is impossible. If you really want to do it, then I think you can. Nothing is impossible. Anything that is bright. Knit pattern is a garter stitch. Sophie garden. Compassion. whenever my mission for donation is accomplished, he's my still. I am a passionate knitter and crocheter. One pattern. Cell phone, I'd rather give her a cell phone.
Thank you so much, Au, for making time for us and for sharing your story, for sharing your creative art, and for sharing your hatla. And for you guys watching at home, if you want to join our Rindipalmo's group, she already gave out her number, so you know how to reach her. And do remember, you're strong, you're smart, you're beautiful, and your story needs to be heard. Take care.